Hello, boys and girls, this is Anders Hill, of course, and oh yes, it is time for another Battlefield 3 video. And we got ourselves some Rush on Wake Island, gonna use the AN-94, because I think this is a map that fits very well for like sniper-ish gameplay, because there's very little cover, and there's a lot of ground to cover most of the time. And if you guys are wondering, I basically jumped into the game a bit late here, so that's why you don't see me running up to the point, basically, and A is already blown up. But anyways, in the last commentary video, the one on Caspian border, I talked a little bit about like how it was growing up for me, and I didn't really talk about that much, and I noticed that you guys fucking loved that for some reason. I do not know why my childhood is interesting to you guys, but I'm gonna guess most of you guys are in your teens and stuff like that, and you guys who are the same age as me or older than me probably maybe thinks it interesting because it's cool to kind of compare how my childhood was to yours or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, I'm happy to actually tell you guys more. That is not a problem at all for me. So I gladly do as you command, or I won't do anything you guys ask for, but I will do my best to entertain, so to say. But anyways, let's start pretty early actually in my life. I think that can be a nice idea, so to say. So, I mean, as most of you guys, my name is Anders, or Anders, or Anders. I don't know if you guys watch Battlestar Galactica ever, but Anders is a guy there, that's my name. It's not with Z and it's not Ander, it's Anders. Anders with an S in the end. I don't know why some think the Z-L or the Z-E and L in the end like is supposed to go away, so you're named Ander. I don't know what kind of name Ander is, but I'm gonna guess it's actually a name in some countries, but my name is Anders, or Anders. But anyways, let's see here now, where should we start? I mean, I was a fat guy. I'm still a fat guy, but I was a lot fatter as a kid. I mean, oh god, I know the perfect picture to cut in here, but I don't think I have it. I think my mom has it. But basically there's a picture of me as a kid, standing in a bird-watching tower with my school. All the other kids are either eating a hot dog or not eating a hot dog, but I'm standing there with one hot dog in each hand and eating them and looking incredibly happy, and that kind of sums up me and why I'm kind of husky. Simply, I love eating. I love food. Food is nice. I like food. I like to make my food myself. I like to cook food and eat good food and yeah, basically food is awesome. So I'm on the husky side. But as a kid, I was even more fat. I was really fat. We're talking like, oh god, like 70 kilos as like a 12-year-old or something like that. And that's basically like 160 pounds or something like that, as a 12-year-old. So I was pretty big. But then around like, I would say 15, I started to grow incredibly quickly, and I started eating more, of course, but still the fat couldn't like keep up with the growth, so the fat kind of made room for a lot of taller pieces of Anders, if you guys know what I mean. A lot of things got bigger. So I'm basically like the shape I was when I was 17, I would say. But then again, I'm in pretty bad shape in that way that I have like no stamina. I get like exhausted after like walking 3 sets of stairs or 3 floors of stairs. Shit like that. So I mean, yeah, not very excellent. But anyways, basically the point is that a lot of you guys really want to know, as I understood it by reading the comments, like this is like the most common question is like, were you ever bullied and stuff like that? And yes, I was bullied. I was bullied quite a lot until I was about 15 and went to what we call gymnasium, or basically kind of like high school. I think there's like some age difference there. I think you go to high school like 1 year earlier, but it wasn't, I wouldn't say bad bullying. But I would come home sad some days from school, so I can really relate to kids feeling like that. And the thing is that this sounds a lot like a cliche, like everybody tells you that, don't worry, it's gonna get better. Yeah, it actually fucking gets better. I mean, there's no one I know that got bullied at school. Even I bullied a girl who was a bit more fat than me. Basically, I got bullied by some other kids that were popular, and I bullied her. So, I mean, even I was a fucking asshole as a kid. I mean, most kids are assholes. They behave very badly. The problem is that kids doesn't think about what their actions are doing to other kids. The only thing they think about is like, is it fun? Does the other kids respect you for it and stuff like that? And it's kind of like you haven't really learned all the social etiquettes yet, and that's kind of why that happens. And a very interesting thing to think about is that if you kind of think about all the people that trolls on the internet, those are usually kids. Those are usually kids that are not very, very old. Usually kids in the age of maybe 10 or 8 to 15, I would say. I don't think much older kids or people actually troll on the internet or hate, as you say. So that's mostly why I don't give a shit when people complain about my videos, until my real subscribers think there's something wrong with the videos and they hope I would change it, and then I do my best to listen and change it. When there's only hate, when it's only trolls that are hating and complaining, I don't give a shit. And so shouldn't you, because I can look, I mean, I know what some of the guys who were like mean to me and kind of bullied me in school are doing right now. Most of them are fucking losers. I mean, I have my own company, I mean, I'm my own boss. Most of them have crappy jobs, most of them have crappy lives. Some of them are married and have a kid or two and live like in the house next to their parents in the little village that they grew up in. So I mean, it's basically like I'm the winner out of those guys. I mean, I don't make a huge amount of money, but I fucking love my job. I love doing YouTube videos. Of course I don't want to do YouTube videos 24/7. I like to take it easy and just chill out and like play a game just for funsies too. But stuff like that is important to think about. I mean, it will get better. You might not believe your parents or your teachers when they say that it will get better, because I didn't as a kid, but it really does get better. It gets a lot better, because I was really popular in high school. I got really popular. I made some great friends. There's basically something called, at least on the high school where I went, basically like different kind of groups that you have to do trials to be able to actually be a part of that group. We call them föreningar in Sweden, and basically it's kind of like some cult thing, almost like there's girls föreningar or girl groups, and there are guy groups, and you have to do crazy and painful and weird shit to get in. I actually didn't need to do that. I was an honorary member in one of these groups. And trust me, when you done those like weird shit that most of they had to do, it was all uphill after that, because you gotta be in the coolest parties, drinking alcohol and having a sexy time with some wonderful women, and that happened quite a lot for me. I mean, my years in high school / gymnasiet was the best years in my life. I mean, these years right now are pretty darn good, but sadly these years actually don't even compare to the years in high school. I mean, the last day of high school was incredibly fun for me. So when people tell you it's gonna get better, it's not very nice to hear, and you probably won't believe it, because it will probably take a year or 2 or 3 years before anything actually gets better, and that's a fucking long time. But trust me, there's a lot of life ahead of you. There's a ton of life ahead of you. I mean, even though gymnasiet or basically high school part of Sweden is only 3 years, sadly, because it was the most amazing years of my life, as I said. I mean, I've never had that much fun in that amount of short period. I mean, I wish it would last longer. I wish it would, because it was just amazing. And that's what you're gonna think when actually shit is getting better, because it's gonna get better. If you're having a crappy life right now or something like that, it's gonna get better, trust me. Because it almost never gets worse, unless you, like, do crack or some shit like that. I mean, don't do drugs, for God's sakes. I mean, don't even drink too much alcohol if you're like 15 or 16, because you can do some stupid shit that you're gonna regret. I mean, I got a pretty good ölsinne, as we call it in Sweden. Basically, I usually kind of drink too much, so I don't feel that good, but I don't do shit that I regret. And I'm kind of one of those guys that, like, don't do stuff you would regret, but make sure you do stuff you would regret you haven't done. Because that's the things you're gonna regret the most, the things you haven't done. You're gonna regret you haven't done them, simply. Very easily. Anyways, this wasn't so much about my growing up, mostly like preaching shit almost. Oh my god. I do go on a rant, don't I? But I don't know, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to talk about stuff like this. And as I said, I mean, it does get better, trust me. It gets a lot better. I mean, even if it just gets a little bit better, I mean, most of the time it gets a lot fucking better. I mean, because as I said, until I was like 15 and before I went to high school, I was basically an outcast. I didn't have many friends. I didn't get to hang out with the cool kids, as you say. But after that, I was fucking popular. I was like top of the hierarchy. I wasn't mean to people, but I had a lot of fun, best days of my life. And oh man, the video is over. Thank you guys for watching, as usual. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.